Imagine you need a flowchart, like right now, a visual diagram to explain a process.
Yeah, and you know that feeling. You open up Lucidchart or Visio, and the friction just hits you.
Oh, instantly.
You're hunting for assets, picking fonts, trying to get the boxes to line up. It's this whole mental mess before you've even started the actual work.
But there is this genuinely powerful and truly free AI tool. It's even named after a snack, Napkin AI.
Right, and it gives you 500 free credits a week.
Every single week.
You just drop in your plain text, maybe a paragraph explaining a process, and boom, it spits out a professional visual diagram, a process flow, icons, whatever you need. That right there, that's the definition of getting the junk out of your workflow.
Welcome back to the deep dive. We really went deep on the sources for this one to weed out all the noise. Our whole mission was to find the tools that are genuinely free.
Yeah, we skipped all the 14-day trials and those, freemium scams that don't really give you anything useful.
We focused on 12 powerhouses that give you real, full-featured utility without you ever having to pull out a credit card.
And the critical insight here is pretty simple. The most valuable free tools in 2025, they're the ones that drastically reduce friction. Not just saving time, but that cognitive load you feel.
That feeling of having to switch between 5 different apps just to summarize a meeting or design a quick social media post.
Exactly.
So we're breaking these 12 tools down by function. First up, we've got the heavy hitters, automation, and workflow engines.
Then we'll get into tools for deep research and really learning faster. And finally, visualizing ideas and just crushing those content creation blocks.
Let's start with the biggest time sinks. Those repetitive tasks, all that manual copying and pasting.
Tool number 1 is Google Workspace Studio. You'll see it as GWS.
Think of it as the automation builder that just connects your entire Google life. Your Gmail, your Drive, Calendar, Docs, all of it.
What's really transformative here is you don't have to be a coder anymore. You don't even have to understand what an API is. You just describe the workflow you want.
You literally just tell Gemini, hey, every time I start an email about a project, create a summary and put it in a shared drive.
And the AI just builds that automation for you. It's incredible.
The real-world uses are, they're so powerful. You can get a daily digest of all your unread emails sent straight to your chat every morning.
Or, and this is a big one, automatically create a Google Doc with clear action items right after a Google Meet call. No more manual notes.
Right.
Okay, so the convenience is clear, but it does lock you into the Google ecosystem, right? So what's the killer feature? What makes it worth it, even for, the skeptics out there?
It's the easiest path for non-technical users to build automated workflows that prevent manual data movement.
Okay, so if GWS is the easy button, what's next?
Next is Tool 10, NAN. And this one feels like the professional workshop.
This is the open source, self-hosted alternative to something like Zapier. It just gives you so much more control over how your data flows step by step.
Self-hosted is a key phrase there. It means you're running it on your own server or your own computer. You control the data completely.
It's intense, I'll give you that.
Yeah.
But the payoff is just massive. It connects to pretty much anything. Any API, any database, whatever AI model you want, it can remove huge chunks of your weekly work.
Picture this workflow. An email with an invoice arrives.
Yep.
Anadin saves the attachment, sends the file to Claude for analysis, posts a structured summary to Slack, and then adds a follow-up task right into Notion.
Wow, all automatic.
All automatic. But we do need a warning here. This is definitely not for beginners. You have to be comfortable managing a server or at least understanding a bit of the back end.
So given that complexity in the self-hosting part, what specific kind of user really benefits most from NAN's open source nature?
Power users and developers who need deep, step-by-step control over precisely how sensitive data flows.
All right, let's pivot a bit. We've mastered data flow. Now let's talk about information flow. Research, understanding, just learning faster.
Tool 4 is Notebook LM.
And this is Google's tool built for anyone who just feels overwhelmed by research. You know that feeling, right? Dozens of PDFs, endless browser tabs, scattered notes. It's just overload.
With Notebook LM, you just dump all of it into one place. PDFs, docs, web pages, even YouTube transcripts.
And here's the crucial part. It answers your questions based only on the material you gave it. It doesn't go out and hallucinate answers from the rest of the internet.
The features are they're game-changing for actually understanding stuff. It has a feature called audio overviews.
Which is what?
It literally turns your documents into a short AI podcast with 2 voices explaining the key ideas from your own sources.
Whoa. Okay, imagine taking hundreds of pages of meeting notes and research papers and having it synthesized into a single, clean slide deck.
It's not just writing faster, it's understanding faster and deeper.
So why do you think so many users underrate Notebook LM when it's focused on this critical task of understanding faster?
Because most tools focus on helping you produce faster, but this one focuses on quicker, deeper comprehension.
Next up, Tool 12, Snipped.
This solves that universal frustration of forgetting everything you heard in a podcast, like 5 minutes after you finish it.
It's a fantastic fix for passive listening. You get AI summaries before you even listen, plus chapters to skip the ads. But the real value is the Snips feature.
Right. You hear something important, you just tap your headphones.
And Snipped instantly saves it, transcribes it, and notes that exact moment. All automatic. You get a timestamp, an AI summary of just that little piece.
It's like a digital highlighter for audio. You're turning this fleeting abstract thing into an actual, quote, ready note you can use right away.
So how does Snipped turn what's usually just passive listening into an active, reusable learning experience?
It provides actionable notes, key ideas, and direct quotes that you can instantly retrieve and apply later.
Okay, and Tool 5 is Granola, the solution for meeting notes that thankfully don't suck.
Granola automatically joins your Zoom or Meet calls. And after the meeting, you don't just get some messy 40-page transcript.
Right. You get clean, structured notes, a clear summary, and all the crucial action items are just highlighted for you.
And what I think is the greatest time saver is that it immediately drafts a follow-up email that's ready to send.
That's huge.
It also has these things called custom recipes, which are really smart. So for a sales call, it'll highlight pain points. For a team stand-up, it highlights blockers and decisions.
As you point out, Granola is Mac only for now, but Fathom is a really strong Windows alternative that does something similar.
So given that it's up against a lot of other transcription tools, what is the core time-saving element that really makes Granola stand out?
It immediately delivers a ready-to-send follow-up email and structured, categorized action items right away.
All right, we're going to step away for a moment, but when we come back, we are diving into 4 incredible free tools that streamline your content and visuals.
Including that snack-named goat tool we teased at the top of the show. Mid-roll sponsor read. Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We are now moving into the segment all about visuals, campaigns, and clickability. These are the tools that crush creative blocks and make visual content fast.
We'll start with Pomeli, which is Tool 2. This is a fascinating experiment from Google Labs that can generate entire on-brand social media campaigns in just a few seconds.
Think about how painful it is to set up a new design. You're manually uploading your logo, trying to find the right hex codes, making sure the fonts match your brand guide.
Yeah, it's a drag.
Pomeli just skips all that friction. You paste in your website's URL, and it automatically figures out your brand DNA, the colors, the fonts, even the tone.
And then it just instantly generates a whole series of visuals, a banner ad, a quick post, all in your exact style. It's still in public beta, so there are some restrictions. But for a non-designer, it is a huge accelerator.
So what's the most tedious but essential design step that Pomeli just completely skips to the user?
Uploading logos, choosing specific fonts, and manually matching colors for every single new asset.
Okay, let's get back to the visual champion, Tool 8, Napkin AI.
We called this the Visual Accelerator.
And it really earns that title. If you find tools like Canva or Figma are just too slow for conceptual work, this is your answer. You highlight some text explaining a process, click a little lightning bolt,
And it instantly generates a professional diagram, a process flow, or just a clean set of icons.
and those 500 free credits a week, that's a really generous allowance. It easily covers your day-to-day drafting needs. You can download everything as a PNG, SVG, or PDF.
But let me ask you this. If it's that fast and easy, doesn't the output just look kind of generic or too corporate?
That's a fair question, but you have to think about its purpose. It's not for, high-end creative graphic design. It's for process documentation. It's for knowledge transfer.
It's about clarity.
Exactly. For a flowchart or a data map, generic and professional is exactly what you want. It removes the need to have any actual design skills to communicate a complex idea.
So what is it that makes Napkin AI a genuine GOAT tool for high-volume content creators?
It creates professional-styled process visuals instantly, eliminating the need for complex design tool knowledge.
Okay, next up, Tool 7 is mymap.ai. This one's all about turning abstract, complex ideas into structured diagrams. Fast.
And you just chat with it. You don't open up some complicated diagram software. You just describe the idea like, show me a 3-stage sales funnel.
Yeah.
And it just creates a clean flowchart for you.
The key differentiator is that you can edit it conversationally. You can just tell it, change that box to red and move it to the right.
And the whole diagram just updates instantly. This is huge for cleaning up complex sales funnels or onboarding docs that are usually just a mess of slides.
So when does MyMap.ai provide the greatest, most immediate clarity for a team that's collaborating?
When you need to explain complex processes quickly without resorting to long written explanations or messy slides.
And wrapping up this segment, we have Tool 9, Headline Studio. This tool does one job and one job only.
Which is making sure your headline actually gets attention.
Exactly. It provides actionable, objective scoring. You drop in your headline idea for, say, a YouTube video or an email, and it scores it based on word balance, emotion, clarity.
So you stop guessing what might work. It gives you this hyper-specific feedback like, add a power word here. This is too long for mobile. Shorten it.
When clicks and views are what matter, these small focus changes are everything.
Thinking about those marginal gains, how significant is the actual impact of optimizing a headline like this?
Small focus changes can absolutely be the difference between a few hundred views and doubling your clicks.
All right, we have 3 more tools left. We're getting into dealing with mental overload and how to compare different AI models.
Let's start with a tool that helps with that psychological friction of just getting started. Tool 6, Goblin.Tools.
Yeah, this one was built specifically to reduce those planning spirals, that mental load you feel when you're just stuck on a huge, intimidating task. It's not about speed.
It's about helping you start moving again, without judgment.
The key feature is the magic to-do. You type in a big, scary task like prepare the annual performance review docs.
And it instantly breaks it down into clear, small, doable steps. Draft the opening statement, 20 minutes. Gather employee feedback, 1 hour, things like that.
And you can adjust the detail, which is essential. It has this spicy slider that controls how granular the breakdown gets. If you have a lot of energy, you set it low. If you're frozen and overwhelmed, you crank it up high.
And look, I'll be honest, I still wrestle with prompt drift myself. That feeling where your big idea just kind of dissolves into all these irrelevant little side tasks. So I really appreciate tools that enforce clarity. Sometimes you just need something to calmly tell you, do this next.
So if the goal here is to reduce stress, what's the core emotional benefit a user gets from Goblin.Tools?
It effectively lowers the initial mental load and helps you start moving again on intimidating tasks without self-judgment.
Okay, next, a quick one. Tool 3, Whisper Flow.
This is voice-to-text that turns what you say into clean, readable text in real time.
It works inside any app, Slack, Notion, your email. And the key detail here is that the AI cleans up all the pauses, the stuttering, the ums and us instantly.
It makes those quick brain dumps actually useful and readable instead of a rambling mess. The free plan gives you 2,000 words a week.
So beyond just the convenience, what's the biggest functional difference between Whisper Flow and, say, the basic dictation you get from Siri?
The AI-driven transcription actively removes filler words, so the text sounds polished and written, not just spoken.
And finally, our last tool, Tool 11, Chat Hub. This removes the ultimate guessing game in AI.
Which is, which model is actually the best for this specific job?
Exactly. It's a simple Chrome extension. You enter one prompt, and it sends it to multiple models, GPT, Claude, Gemini, all at the same time, in parallel.
And it displays the results side by side on one screen.
This just changes your entire workflow. You stop relying on opinions or what's trending on Twitter or your loyalty to one model.
You just let the actual side-by-side results decide which model gave you the best, most useful outcome for that one task.
How does Chat Hub change the process for deciding which AI model is right for a specific task?
You stop relying on model hype and instead use immediate side-by-side results to determine the best outcome.
So we've just built this incredible toolbox. 12 tools designed to eliminate massive friction points in modern work. But here's the meta pattern you have to understand.
What's that?
A list of 12 tools is, frankly, useless without process mapping.
Okay, let's unpack that. It's easy to get tool fatigue.
Exactly. You have to identify your specific, painful, repeating workflows first. Is it content creation, client management, meeting overload? And then you plug in maybe 2 or 3 of the right tools to solve that one problem.
Don't try to use all 12 at once.
Please don't. Just look at your biggest pain point this week. If you're drowning in research, master Notebook LM. If you need better visuals, master Napkin AI. If your meetings are a mess, master Granola. Start small.
We do have to address the uncomfortable truth here before we wrap up. Why are these world-class tools free? We all know there's no free lunch in tech.
The reality is, it's multi-layered, but it's simple. Google Labs tools like Pomeli. They're experiments gathering user data. Tools like WhisperFlow are freemium models, hoping you get hooked so you'll upgrade later.
And open source projects like NNN are supported by their community and enterprise customers.
Right. So the uncomfortable truth is this. Enjoy the world-class value while they're free, but understand that limitations or a price tag might come later. That's just the nature of the game.
And that brings us to our final provocative thought.
We have this deep psychological tendency to value paid tools more than free ones. It's just human nature. But if the best tools for eliminating cognitive friction tools like Notebook LM and Napkin AI that solve your biggest pain points are available today at zero cost.
What does that really imply about the actual value of speed and clarity versus the price tag?
Something to think about as you go and build your own ultimate workflow. Out to your own music.